Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at bringing the survival series from Unity 4 to Unity 5. Now, this is not going to be a look at changing the scripts or the script for the character motor not existing on the Unity 5 controller. What we're going to do is we're going to look at two ways of, say you've been working in Unity 4 and you want to bring this up to Unity 5. We're going to look at upgrading your project and helping you upgrade any sort of project and giving you sort of details on doing that. And also, if you want to follow the survival series, you can actually upload the Unity 4 character controller pack for you to easily import into Unity 5, so you can carry on following the tutorials exactly as I've done them, because I haven't had an awful lot of time to look into what's changed in the character controller in Unity 5 and editing all my scripts. So what we're going to do is, once you open Unity 5 for the first time, you're going to want to open Other. So what we're going to do from Open Other, I've got a folder called Unity 5, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my Survival Island game. That is going to be my Unity 4 specific package. Now I'm going to then select that file, and it's going to ask me to upgrade. This is a backup of my version in Unity 4, so always make sure that you've got a backup first. Just make a new folder and copy and paste a new version in, so if you upgrade it and it messes it up, we won't have any problems. And then what you want to do is just update that and run through, let Unity just do what it needs to do. And in this we're going to look at changing the skybox, because sometimes it causes an issue, looking at the differences in the render settings, setting the lighting path from if it was forward or deferred rendering, using how it renders it on the graphics card. So Unity 4 used to be DirectX 9, we're going to be looking at DirectX 11, and you can say that I made a backup, so go ahead and just compile everything for me, and then I'll be back once we've finished this compilation. Okay, so now we've opened this up in Unity 5 and it looks, let's say, somewhat similar to how it functioned before. Now there's going to be some things that have messed up and it might look a little bit crazy. So if I play the game now, you'll notice that we don't particularly have any errors, but we're going to have some sort of visual bugs going on that we need to sort of address through this video. So people had been mentioning that there's some errors with the character controller and the scripts that are with that. But now if you use the Unity 4 character controller, you won't actually get any problems. So as a workaround for everybody is that I will provide the actual character controller pack, and you will have it in your standard assets and these ones like in Unity 4. Now we're going to sort out these little issues that we've got so far. So what you want to do first off is go to you want to go to the light mapping or the lighting tab. So you can go window and lighting. Mine's called light mapping because it's come from a Unity 4. Now what we're going to do is we want to add a different skybox. Now I might make another tutorial on how to add a custom skybox in Unity 5, but if I search skybox and I'm going to put the default skybox in, and it will clear a lot of the massive issues that we had first off really. Then what we can do is we can add the directional light as the sun, we can add the ambient source as the skybox, and we'll get some more shadows. You can leave or take away the ambient intensity, maybe just leave it up for this. You can probably take the reflection bounces down. We can add pre-computed GUI. I'll probably disregard the baked GUI for now. Set the resolution to 1. Make sure that directional is for the general GI. You can leave the fog disabled or enabled, but this fog works slightly differently in Unity 5 than it did in Unity 4. So we might want to switch that off for now. And then the main things that we were concerned about, we want to make sure that if we go back to the inspector tab, we want to make sure that our directional light is real time, and we can leave the intensity and such by itself. We make sure that the terrain's static if it wasn't already. Now what we might want to do is go into edit, project settings, and then player. We might want to change our rendering path here to forward or deferred rendering. Make sure that it isn't on legacy. So maybe if we change it to deferred, or you can leave it as forward, but probably leave it as forward for this. Now it says at the top it's using DirectX 9. You can use Direct 3D 11. So if you apply that and say, well, yeah, we'll save the scene out, it'll then be using DirectX 11 if you've got a graphics card that supports that, because that's a newer version to support any graphics. Now we can also go to Edit Project Settings and Quality. Now I had this on fastest before, so we had no shadows, so if you've got a problem there, you can turn it to fantastic and you'll get the shadows again. Now it's strangely flipped that upside down, and that's probably because I've got a camera effect. So if you go on the first person controller now to your main camera, I might want to get rid of the sun shafts on the fast bloom. What we could do is we could leave the sun shafts or take those away. Fast bloom makes it switch upside down. I'm not really sure why that's doing that, but that's okay for now. But if we want to have a look at playing the game, it'll sort out quite a few issues that we previously had, and it looks fairly nice. And also you might want to use continuous baking. Make sure that on your lighting tab continuous baking is enabled. Some of these objects we make sure that we don't want to be static because they're going to move. Now I've got a little issue with some of my palm trees. Now that might have been sorted in the if the person who's made the Tropical Nature Pack updates it for Unity 5, but you may need to bring those in again if you're having problems with some of the issues with the things themselves. Now with continuous baking on, it's brightened everything up slightly, and now we get some nice not so darker shadows in the areas, so we can probably decrease the indirect intensity if we need to. But on our directional light, we might want to make sure the intensity isn't quite as high, because it's 1.76. If I take that back down to 1, that might be more beneficial to us all. Now you can enable fog again, but you might want to experiment with what actually works, because maybe I'm using the fog incorrectly, and if anybody knows how to use it properly, I might look into it more detail, but it seems to be doing it in a different way to how I'd normally expect, because I'd want the fog to be back here rather than very close to, you know, our player. So if we adjust the start and end values, we can get, if we adjust the end value, we get the fog back there. I can't seem to make it affect anything down there. Maybe it's an issue with me, but something you might want to test for yourself. But if we leave that off for now and we test the game, we'll get everything, you know, from how we wanted it in Unity 5. So from Unity 4 to 5, yes, we are missing some trees and things like that. You might want to tweak some terrain settings if you need to. So if you go on your terrain, and the terrain is using the built-in legacy material. Now what you might want to do is you make it use the built-in standard. So if you adjust that, you can add your own material into the settings. So you can add your own material to use the standard shader for any materials that you might be using. So if we've painted on the sand, we can edit the textures accordingly, and it'll be using the standard shader, so the physically based stuff will actually work more efficiently. So really, that's the base of going from Unity 4 to 5, especially with the survival series. We just had to tweak a lot of different things. We had to make sure that the lighting was all functioning correctly. We had to make sure we had a new skybox, sort out any graphical issues we had, made sure that the real-time global illumination was enabled. We had the settings up high enough, using a different version of DirectX, and just tweaking some settings. Now, of course, like I said, if you've got any problems with using the character controller from Unity 5, use the Unity 4 one for this series. and then when I get chance to editing my scripts, I'll make sure that I get round to tweaking it for Unity 5. But again, if you've got any tree packs, you might want to see if the developers updated it so it works with Unity 5 better, or maybe re-import everything and apply it to your terrain again. I know that's not the best way to go, but when you're moving from one build of an engine from Unity 4 to 5, you're going to get some issues, and not all of them can be sorted. So all in all, it looks somewhat to back where we were. So hopefully we'll get back into the series, but I'll continue development in Unity 4, but hopefully this helps some people out with the development in Unity 5. So thanks again for watching, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Cheers.